Hey everybody, this is Toys by Phelps. I usually take pictures. Today I'm going to complain about toys. So, if you've heard Maximum, was it Marvel Maximum, Maximum Hulk came out, a lot of your toy reviewers are saying that they should not have charged the price they charge because they're using the same buck from the original Hulk, which is this. Except this one has a different head sculpt because I wanted to look more like the Smart Hulk from the Dale Keown run. And then this is the Maximum Hulk. And they're trying to tell you that they pretty much use the same figure, charging more money. But they're not the same figure. There's been some retooling, which means new molds. So, as you know, retoolings that, if you look at this, and you'll see in a little bit, the sculpts are similar, but they're not the same. So they got these brand new molds. One of the first things that I noticed right off the bat that were different was the abs. So this is the original Hulk with the abs. The color is a little different too, I forgot to say, because I used a thin pen to highlight some of the sculpture. But if you look, you see how the stomach muscles are. Belly button, that's the original Hulk. Like the, was it 80th anniversary Hulk with Wolverine. This is their figure. Like I said, different head sculpt. Here's the new Hulk. Look at the stomach. Look at the belly button. There's veins on the stomach. So that's a difference right there. So that's not the same sculpt right there. The original Hulk. The new Hulk figure. Of course, the chest is different, you know, because it's got that soft material so the Hulk can do the infamous thunderclap. Original Hulk. Another thing that's different is the shoulders. Original Hulk shoulders. See how the muscle striations are? Right there. New Hulk. See how that is? It's thicker. It's not as detailed and deep. Even if I put the pin marks on it to make it look a little deeper. Look at the structures of the muscles. So here, I'll put them next to each other. Boom, right there. You can look at it. There's a difference. So you can see there's a vein there on that shoulder of the new Hulk. There's no vein. Look at it, like I said, the muscles. You can see more muscle striations in this. Different type. There's like one on each side and then one in the middle. Look how that is. There's more going on there and there in the front. So once again, like I said, it's not the same. Then if you look at the actual biceps, it's different. So that's this. You can see the veins. Then you got this one. Look, knocking things over. Look at the biceps. It's different. It's not, like I said, I guess the best word to use is less detail. So the veins are different. Less muscle striations in the bicep, triceps. So it's not the same Hulk. Of course, as we said, sorry, I'm trying to do this all in one take because I'm a little lazy. I'd rather focus on photography. So, plus I don't even know how many views this video will get anyway. But, so, of course, the feet are different. If you look at the calves, this is your original Hulk with the calves. All right, see how that looks. Toy Hulk, the new one, like Toy Hulk. Maximum Hulk, different with how they did it. Yes, it's definitely similar, but it's not the same. So there's definitely a new mold. So they put new molds. So there's definitely similarities, yes, but it's not the same. People complained, once again, trying to say that they were duping us, and they weren't duping us. There's definitely similarities, but it's not the same. I'm trying to think what else are the, let's see. I feel like the forearms are different. meaning they're similar but not the same. Less, once again, like I said, less detail and the Maximum Hulk over the original Hulk. So it's like they didn't want to look as intense. But to me, I feel like the Hulk, or the modern version of Hulk, should look like he has zero body fat. But I feel like this Maximum Hulk is kind of going for more of a classic look that we kind of remember from like the 80s and 90s. Even though Smart Hulk was 90s, right? But so let's say Maximum Hulk is trying to go with a more 70s and 80s type thing. But you can see with the head sculpt, they kind of went with the Smart Hulk thing here, even though it doesn't remind me of the Dale Keown Hulk, because there's no pupils. That's weird. I don't know why they didn't give him pupils to kind of make him look more human. But of course, the hair is nicely combed and brushed and coiffed, and he's got the little fade. So obviously, it looks like it's on purpose haircut. But yeah, so as I was saying, your toy reviewers who were claiming it was the same figure, it is not. Two totally different figures. You know, of course, like I said, they had to do the tooling for the chest to make it clap. They didn't want to ruin the sculpt by putting the butterfly joints in the chest, which is, you know, it makes sense. You know, those definitely can be distracting because you would definitely have to have something that would arch backwards and forwards. So you have this big, ugly cut in the chest and in the shoulders. And that ain't, you know, for the price tag. I will say with the Maximum Hulk, I wish they had better head sculpts. I feel like they were too cartoony because they had like an Ed Guinness head sculpt. That was the one with the screen where you can see his uvula. And then they had another Hulk that's kind of reminds me of like the 60s or 70s Hulk with the shaggy hair. But of course he had those big, huge teeth. And that made it feel too cartoony to me. So I wish they had done different interpretations, but with more of a mature look to it, or a realistic vibe to it, which is kind of funny saying you want something realistic for a 7 to 8 foot tall, 2,000 pound man who's filled with muscles, but somehow the pants never rip down from the belt, but only split from the feet. So, but anyway, there you go. It's not the same figure. Your toy reviewer got lazy, did not do their due diligence. Sorry that happened, but when I do my toy videos, I definitely make sure to inspect everything and look at everything. All right, hope you guys have a great day.